Finally today, so OpenAI is clapping back at Elon Musk's lawsuit, and as I said, this whole thing is the eating popcorn gif. OpenAI released a blog post accusing Musk of suing only when the company, quote, started making meaningful progress toward OpenAI's mission without him, end quote. Quoting the blog post, "We're sad that it's come to this with someone whom we've deeply admired, someone who inspired us to aim higher, then told us we would fail, started a competitor, and then sued us when we started making meaningful progress toward OpenAI's mission without him," the company said in the post, which was co-authored by several of OpenAI's co-founders, including Sam Altman, Brockman and Ilya Sutskever. They also posted redacted emails from Musk to Brockman and Altman from 2015 where Elon says, quote, "We need to go with a much bigger number than $100 million to avoid sounding hopeless. I think we should say that we are starting with a $1 billion funding commitment. I will cover whatever anyone else doesn't provide," end quote. The post notes that the nonprofit raised less than $45 million from Elon. Quoting from the post again, "In late 2017, we and Elon decided the next step for the mission was to create a for-profit entity. Elon wanted majority equity, initial board control, and to be CEO. In the middle of these discussions, he withheld funding. Reid Hoffman bridged the gap to cover salaries and operations. We couldn't agree to terms on a for-profit with Elon because we felt it was against the mission for any individual to have absolute control over OpenAI. He then suggested instead merging OpenAI into Tesla. In early February 2018, Elon forwarded us an email suggesting that OpenAI should attach to Tesla as its cash cow, commenting that it was, quote, exactly right. Tesla is the only path that could even hope to hold a candle to Google. Even then, the probability of being a counterweight to Google is small. It just isn't zero, end quote. Elon soon chose to leave OpenAI, saying that our probability of success was zero and that he planned to build an AGI competitor within Tesla. When he left in late February 2018, he told our team he was supportive of us finding our own path to raise billions of dollars. In December 2018, Elon sent us an email saying, quote, "Even raising several hundred million won't be enough. This needs billions per year immediately or forget it," end quote. Elon responded to this post with a tweet that merely read, "Change your name." Now, tangentially related, but I also wanted to read to you from this piece from Business Insider about what's going on with OpenAI at the moment. Remember Sam being fired by the board? Remember a promised internal investigation about that? Whatever happened with that? Quote, "The expectation internally is that the investigation will be completed before the first quarter is up," a source said. A recent revelation to the SEC that Altman is the sole owner of OpenAI's startup fund came as a surprise to employees because it was never disclosed internally. No one knew that, one of the people familiar said. An SEC investigation into Altman's communications, as reported in the Wall Street Journal, was another recent surprise. Some employees are concerned with what the result of such a probe might be. There is also concern over the FTC's investigation into OpenAI and its ties with Microsoft. While most employees prefer to keep their heads down and work, many of whom are actively working on GPT-5, the next version of OpenAI's generative AI system set to be released in the coming months, there is, quote, a lot of pressure that's come with increased public awareness of Altman, one of the people familiar said. Many employees are also confused, as are many observers, about the actual operational structure of OpenAI. It has a nonprofit arm in control of a for-profit arm, which itself has control of a holding company, which controls another for-profit entity, and that entity is what Microsoft is technically invested in. It doesn't make a lot of sense to anyone, one of the people familiar with the company's structure said. The person wondered if the various investigations would force some kind of change in the next year or so, perhaps simplifying the operational structure. "I'm expecting some more drama from somewhere," the person added. Another opaque matter is the form of equity compensation employees receive in the form of profit participation units, or PPUs, which make up a large portion of their expected pay. Employees are still not told how many PPUs are included in their grants, only the assigned dollar value. Although OpenAI employees are paid well, many workers are increasingly concerned about how much risk they're assuming. Altman's ouster showed them the company was not as stable as they may have thought. Then there's the recent exit of Andrej Karpathy, a founding member of OpenAI who rejoined the company only a year ago. In an internal note to staff, Karpathy insisted that he was not leaving for another job and that he was, quote, very sad to be leaving at all, according to a person who viewed it. The person noted that Karpathy simply was not enjoying the work he was tasked with at OpenAI, leading a team developing an AI assistant. Yet the person wondered why the company wouldn't have wanted to keep someone of his stature within the AI community. Why not let him do whatever he wanted, the person asked. The unsatisfying exit of Karpathy is in addition to the ongoing invisibility of Ilya Sutskever, OpenAI's respected co-founder and longtime chief scientist who played a big role in Altman's ouster. There is continued silence surrounding his future at the company, if any, both of the people familiar said. OpenAI has yet to officially address Sutskever's employment status. While he is no longer on the OpenAI board, nor is Altman, his name remains in company systems like Slack, one of the people familiar said. A lawyer for Sutskever did not respond to a request for comment. With more questions than answers, most employees are left to observe and infer. As for what the internal investigation into Altman will result in, employees aren't expecting any huge revelations, in part because Altman's mood and demeanor have improved in recent weeks, one of the people said. The weight of the coup still appeared to hang over Altman at the start of this year, the person noted. Now, quote, he seems a lot happier, end quote.